hesitation to let it all go. And I see it now, I'm laying it down, and I know that I need you. I'll run to the Father, fall into grace. I'm done with the hiding, no reason to wait. My heart needs a surgeon, my soul needs a friend. So I'll run to the Father again and again and again and again. Oh, oh, oh. You saw my condition, had a plan from the start. Your son for redemption, the price for my heart. And I don't have a context for that kind of love. I don't understand, I can't comprehend. All I know is I need you. I run to the Father, fall into grace. I'm done with the hiding, no reason to wait. My heart needs a surgeon, my soul needs a friend. So I'll run to the Father again and again and again and again. Oh, oh, again and again and again and again. Oh, 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 again and again. My heart has been in your sights long before my first breath, running into your arms, just running to life from death. And I feel this rush deep in my chest. Your mercy is calling out, just as I am. You pull me in, and I know I need you now. I run to the Father, fall into grace. I'm done with the hiding, no reason to wait. My heart's found a surgeon, my soul's found a friend. So run to the Father again and again and again and again. Oh, oh, again and again and again and again. Oh, 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 again and again. How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be talking a little bit more about maybe the process of going to what you're called to. Like, God has gifted you to do something, and then there's this process that we go through that many people in the Bible went through, and I think David is one of those people. He's a great example of God using him in certain ways that probably were not glorious or amazing, getting to a place where he's called to be the king, and then he has to wait, almost dies in the process. The king of Israel wants to murder him. And so there's this process that David goes through even until the end of his days. I mean, he has so many issues, different things, but God still loves him so much. And the same for you and I. God loves us so much that he is willing to take us through the process of becoming who he wants us to be and using us with the gifts that he has given us. And so David finds himself early on as a shepherd, and this is where he starts singing these songs to his sheep. He starts writing songs. He's a very musical guy, and God says that he is the apple of his eye. And this is where he comes to where the king is having nightmares. He can't sleep very well, and David goes with his harp and everything else and plays him and sings him to sleep. And so this is preparing him for the ultimate ending where he was going to be the king. But did David know that? Probably not. He went through a process. And then he's back in his country. He's doing his thing. He's taking care of sheep. And a prophet comes to anoint the next king of Israel. And the father is brought in. And he said, hey, the prophet's like, hey, I need to see your sons. God has told me one of your sons is to be anointed. And so when it comes down to it, the father doesn't even choose David. Isn't that crazy? That sometimes we wouldn't even rather pick ourselves for the job. We don't even choose us when we are presented with an opportunity because we think we're not worthy of it or whatever it is. We don't look the part. We don't feel the part. Whatever it is, that's what Jesse did not assume, because Jesse thought it was going to be David's father thought that it was going to be one of his older sons that were going to be the king. But that was not the case. God wanted to use David, and God had already gifted David with so many different things, and David had this faith in him, this thing that he knew God was going to come through, and that is the most important thing. Do you know that God is going to prepare you in different ways, and that he's going to come through? So whatever it is you're dreaming to do, whatever it is that you have a passion beyond passions to accomplish, God is going to help you get there. You just have to be faithful, and you have to wait on him, and he's going to take you through the process. For some of you guys, maybe you're in that phase of being a shepherd. Like, you're just kind of whittling your thumbs away, and you're learning different things that are so random, it seems like, but God will wind up using those things. I mean, I can't tell you how I never assumed anything from my youth and my from being young would really come into play today, but it does. Things that I was interested in when I was 18 years old, editing videos for YouTube and doing different things like that, that was not something I thought I would be using right now. I didn't know ministry was going to be where I was going. And at the time, Facebook was still in its infancy. People were not posting stuff to YouTube for church services or anything like that. So God prepared me even at the age of 18 for what I'm doing right now, what we're doing right now. And so think about that. You are going to be going through things that you don't even know, that's preparing you for the next step. So just know that whatever God's called you to and it's in your heart to do, he's going to see you through it. I remember wanting to be a speaker and wanting to teach lessons and stuff like that, but I never thought it would be me, so I kind of settled for not. I was like, you know what? If I'm never that person, God, I just want to be able to pray to you. I want to be faithful to you. It doesn't matter what I do. I don't need a title. I don't need any of that. And come to it, that's what God really wanted out of me. And then he developed me to the place where right now I am speaking to you guys, that I'm able to have a platform. I work at a church. These are things that I never thought would happen. I thought, my dad, he was a pastor, but he also worked at a bank. So I was figuring my job would be something totally different than this. But God has been faithful, and he's brought me through and prepared me and continues to prepare me. David, one of the biggest mistakes he ever made was send a man out. He fell in love with this woman who was bathing on a roof. Why was she bathing on a roof? I don't know, but he fell in love with this woman and found out she had a husband, sent the husband out to war in the front lines to be killed, and then married that woman and had a child with her. And it's just so messed up what happened. And God still used him. God still is going to use you, even though you're going to be making mistakes. You're going to do things that are not quite right. You're going to slip up, and that's okay if in the long run your heart is toward God, that you are repentant when you do mess up, that you're like, God, forgive me, because this isn't me. This isn't who you want me to be. And so as you're moving on into the things that God really wants you to do, just be encouraged by the example of David, that God doesn't always pick the most equipped for the job, but he will always equip you for the job. So that is all I have for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed the new song. It's so sick. I love it so much. But you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next week, or actually see you guys on Friday in the Zoom call, and I hope you guys will be there. Bye.